Baba Vanga's red sky prophecy is coming true in 2025. Predictions for 2025. Have you noticed it too? That burning hue bleeding across the sky, so vivid, so unnatural it makes you pause. At first, you might have blamed pollution, solar flares, or just one of those weird weather days. But something about it lingers in the back of your mind, doesn't it? Like a silent warning etched into the clouds. You're not imagining things. All around the world, skies are turning crimson too often, too intense to be coincidence. It's as if nature itself is trying to say something, and we're only just starting to listen. Decades ago, in a quiet mountain village, a blind woman saw the future more clearly than most ever could. Her name was Baba Vanga. She spoke of a red sky knot at dusk, not from storms but as a sign, a turning point, a threshold humanity would cross in the year 2025. And what if I told you that prophecy isn't waiting, it's already unfolding? Before we unravel what Baba Vanga foresaw and how it could shape our world, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to The Journey of Wisdom. Share it with someone who's been feeling that subtle shift in the air, like something deeper is stirring, because what you're about to hear may change how you see the sky and the future forever. Number 1. Baba Vanga's prophecy. In the summer of 1979, during a period of growing global unease and mysterious changes in the sky above her quiet Bulgarian village, the blind mystic Baba Vanga entered a deep, trance-like state shortly after a powerful thunderstorm rolled through the region. Those who were present spoke of an eerie stillness and a feeling in the air that defied explanation, like electricity without lightning, a pressure that seemed to touch something deep within. It was in this otherworldly silence that Baba Vanga uttered one of her most enigmatic prophecies. When the sky turns red without fire, and the people do not flee, that is when it begins. At the time, few could comprehend what she meant. Some feared it spoke of an impending war, while others whispered about apocalyptic weather or even solar phenomena. But Vanga, with her calm certainty, dismissed such assumptions. This was not simply destruction, it was a signal, a beginning that would unfold not with noise, but with stillness. The sky, she warned, would change not in a way we could easily explain, and by the time we realized what was happening, the moment to respond would have already passed. And in today's world, where red skies have begun appearing more frequently due to everything from atmospheric pollution to unusual solar activity, her words suddenly seem less like myth and more like a puzzle waiting to be understood. What makes this prophecy even more compelling are the rare and mostly unpublished writings left behind by Baba Vanga, particularly those focused on the year 2025. Hidden among her dictated journal entries, often recorded by her closest aides, are cryptic notes that speak of a world not ending, but transforming. One line reads chillingly clear: "In the year halfway through the decade, the veil will thin. The sky shall weep red, and the watchers will awaken." While at first glance this might sound like poetic metaphor, researchers and spiritual scholars have explored deeper meanings behind her words. Many believe that the veil is not a literal curtain, but the boundary between what we see and what lies hidden between the physical realm and dimensions just beyond our understanding. In modern language, this could point to a spiritual awakening or a shift in human consciousness, especially as people today increasingly explore mindfulness, energy healing, and quantum ideas of interconnectedness. And who are the Watchers? Some interpret them as symbols of higher awareness or guardians from forgotten civilizations, perhaps even ancient energies, waiting for the right moment to stir and guide humanity through a turning point. As we edge closer to 2025, and as global systems show signs of stress, climate extremes, rising emotional tension, and a collective sense of uncertainty, Baba Vanga's prophecy feels strangely timely. We may not see the red sky as a sign of doom, but rather a wake-up call. A chance to pay attention not just to what's happening outside, but within ourselves. In many spiritual traditions, including Buddhism, external changes are often mirrors of inner turbulence. When the sky shifts, perhaps it's a reflection of humanity's own imbalance here, disconnection from nature, from each other, and from the wisdom within. And maybe that is what not fleeing means in her prophecy. Not running from discomfort, not escaping responsibility, but standing still, becoming aware, and choosing to respond with clarity and compassion. So, instead of fearing these predictions, we can see them as reminders to return to what matters, to live with intention, care for the earth, seek peace over conflict, and nurture our inner life. Baba Vanga may have spoken in riddles, but her deeper message is clear. The future isn't set in stone, it unfolds based on how we choose to live right now. Number 2. Echoes across ancient cultures. Have you ever looked up at the sky during sunset and felt that something about its color seemed almost otherworldly? Baba Vanga's vision of a red sky, though often seen as a mystery of one woman's foresight, is actually part of a much older and widespread story told across the ages by many civilizations. Her prophecy about a crimson sky marking a great shift isn't just a lone voice, it's an echo of wisdom shared by cultures throughout history. In the Bible, for instance, the book of Joel declares, "The sun shall be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord comes." These aren't just poetic phrases, they're descriptions of moments when the heavens change to signal transformation, sometimes viewed as judgment, other times as awakening. Similarly, the Hopi people, guardians of ancient spiritual traditions, speak of the coming of the Red Kachina, a spirit figure who appears in the sky as the final sign before the world is cleansed and renewed. What do you think it means that people across continents and thousands of years have seen the sky as a messenger of great change? It wasn't only the Hopi or the writers of ancient scripture who looked to the sky for meaning. The Mayans, with their incredible knowledge of stars and time, believed that when the color of the heavens shifted, so too did the fate of humanity. They didn't just observe the sky, they listened to it. And in China, where emperors ruled by what was believed to be a mandate of heaven, court astrologers documented red glows and strange celestial patterns as signs that dynasties were about to fall or great changes were coming. All these cultures, separated by oceans and time, understood something that we, in our modern rush, have often forgotten. The sky is not just weather, it is wisdom. So when Baba Vanga spoke of a red sky as the beginning of something profound, could it be that she was tapping into the same ancient knowing that guided our ancestors? Think about it. What if the sky is more than a backdrop for our lives? What if it's a kind of message board, a language from the universe itself? To the people of the past, the sky was sacred. Every shift in color or movement was a form of communication. Harvest times, prayers, journeys, and even leadership decisions were guided by it. Today, as we witness strange weather patterns, red skies caused by wildfires or atmospheric dust, and magnetic disruptions scientists still struggle to explain, perhaps we are being asked to look up again, not just with our eyes, but with our awareness. Maybe the modern world, so full of noise, needs moments like these to remind us to pause and ask deeper questions. What are we missing? What are we being shown? Are we, too, at a turning point? So here's the heart of it. Baba Vanga's prophecy isn't just about fear or mystery, it's an invitation. A reminder that when the world starts to change and the signs appear in places we've stopped paying attention, we're being called to awaken, not panic, to reflect, not run. What if this red sky is telling us to slow down, reconnect with what's real, and return to a way of living that honors both the earth and the spirit? The lesson we can draw from all this is clear. The sky has always spoken. The question, are we willing to listen again? And if we are, how might we live differently, more wisely, knowing that the universe is still guiding us, just as it always has? Number 3. Solar cycles and global threats. Let me ask you something. Have you ever thought about how much of your daily life depends on something as distant as the sun? Most of us go about our routines without ever considering that our power grids, GPS, internet, and even our emotional balance could be influenced by activity happening 93 million miles away. But right now, we're entering a phase called Solar Cycle 25, which scientists say will hit its peak between 2024 and 2025, the very same window Baba Vanga warned about decades ago when she spoke of the sky turning red and events beginning that few would understand. The sun, as it turns out, isn't always calm and consistent. It goes through 11-year cycles, swinging from quiet to turbulent, and this cycle is predicted to be unusually intense. During these peaks, massive solar flares and geomagnetic storms can erupt, sending waves of energy toward Earth that can interfere with satellites, disrupt navigation systems, and even knock out entire power grids. Think back to the Carrington event of 1859, a solar storm, so powerful it lit up skies globally and shut down telegraph systems. Now imagine something like that happening in our hyper-connected world. What would happen if the internet went dark, if GPS failed, if entire cities lost power? Are we really prepared for that kind of sudden shift? But what's even more fascinating and perhaps unsettling is that the consequences may not stop at technology. There's growing concern among researchers that these solar and geomagnetic storms could be affecting more than our devices. They might be subtly impacting our own minds. A document that's been quietly circulating, reportedly tied to NATO and labeled Project Crimson Dawn, outlines contingency plans not only for technological disruptions, but also for atmospheric disturbances that seem to correlate with changes in human cognition, mood, and perception. Have you noticed more people talking about sleep disturbances, strange dreams, emotional swings, or even feeling ungrounded without knowing why? Some suggest it might be connected to shifts in Earth's electromagnetic field, an invisible rhythm that we've always lived in sync with, often without realizing it. If this field begins to wobble or intensify, could it be affecting how we think, feel, or relate to one another? Now, when Baba Vanga warned about a red sky and spoke of a change that people wouldn't recognize until it was too late, maybe she wasn't speaking in symbols. Maybe she truly foresaw a future where solar forces would trigger not only technological failures, but also a deeper, more subtle transformation known that touches human consciousness itself. Could her vision have been pointing to a time when we'd be forced to wake up to more than just physical events, but to a global spiritual shift? Perhaps the red sky isn't just a color, it's a symptom, a sign that the Earth is out of balance and that we're being invited to restore that balance, not just in nature, but within ourselves. 2025, you're already beginning to uncover the mysteries behind Baba Vanga's chilling red sky prophecy for 2025. Comment below with "Red Sky Awakening" to show you're ready to face what's coming with open eyes and a prepared heart. Don't go anywhere, there's still so much more to reveal about what lies ahead. Stay until the end to discover how these predictions could shape your future. Number 4. Otherworldly or psychological effects. As we witness more frequent appearances of red skies across the globe, many people are beginning to feel that something deeper than atmospheric change is unfolding, something that touches not just the Earth, but the very fabric of our awareness. While some may attribute these vivid hues to solar activity or climate patterns, others see them as signs of a broader spiritual and psychological shift. The Bulgarian mystic Baba Vanga, whose predictions have stirred both curiosity and unease for decades, spoke cryptically of times when those who speak without voice would be heard. To some, these words hint at a profound event, the gradual thinning of the veil that separates our visible world from hidden dimensions. In modern terms, this could mean the boundaries between physical reality and other realms, spiritual, energetic, or even technological, are beginning to blur. This concept, once confined to folklore or metaphysics, is increasingly being echoed in contemporary theories that explore how electromagnetic fields, especially those amplified by solar activity, might influence the human mind. Researchers in neurophysics and quantum theory suggest that shifts in these fields can lead to altered states of consciousness moments where intuition sharpens, awareness expands, and people feel they're tapping into something beyond the everyday. In this light, Baba Vanga's prophecy may not be warning us of doom, but inviting us to awaken to a new form of reality, one where our inner lives are just as significant as the external world. The red sky then becomes more than a dramatic sunset. It becomes a symbol, perhaps even a trigger, calling humanity to pay attention to unseen forces. It is here that the ancient meets the modern. As science slowly catches up with what mystics have long whispered, we begin to understand that reality might not be as solid or singular as we once believed. This can be unsettling, especially for those of us aged 30 to 65 who were raised in a world of fixed truths and linear logic. But it also opens a doorway, a chance to reconnect with our own inner wisdom, to be more attuned to our instincts, and to embrace moments of stillness and self-inquiry. As the noise of the world grows louder, the call to look within becomes more urgent. So what does this mean for our daily lives? It means we must learn to balance outer information with inner knowing. It means that when we feel strange shifts in energy, moments of déjà vu, or intuitive insights that arrive unannounced, we should not dismiss them so quickly. Perhaps what we are sensing is not fantasy or confusion, but evidence that the veil is indeed growing thin. And instead of fearing this, we can see it as a gift, a sign that we are becoming more receptive, more conscious, and more connected to something greater than ourselves. Whether this greater force is divine, natural, or cosmic remains a mystery, but the invitation is clear. Slow down, pay attention, and honor your own experiences, even when they don't fit conventional explanations. The world is changing, and in this change lies a rare opportunity to not only adapt, but to awaken. Let the red sky remind us that we are part of something vast and evolving, and that in uncertain times, our greatest compass is a calm mind and a compassionate heart. Number 5. Geomagnetic concerns. Let's explore something both mysterious and fascinating: Baba Vanga's red sky prophecy, and how it might be unfolding in a way few of us expect. You may have heard spiritual interpretations of her predictions, visions of upheaval and transformation, but today, let's look at a powerful scientific perspective that aligns intriguingly with her words. Scientists around the world are observing a strange phenomenon. The Earth's magnetic poles are shifting, and not at the slow, steady pace we once thought. This shift, called a geomagnetic reversal, could be a sign that we're standing at the edge of a major planetary event. It's not science fiction, this is real, and it's accelerating. Normally, the north and south magnetic poles wander a little each year, but recent data shows they are moving more rapidly and unpredictably than ever before. What does this mean for us? And how could this invisible change beneath our feet reflect something Baba Vanga foresaw decades ago? Let's break it down. The Earth's magnetic field acts like a protective shield, guarding us from harmful solar radiation and helping animals, technology, and even our own biology function smoothly. But as this shield weakens and shifts, everything it supports can start to falter. Scientists suggest this could influence human behavior in ways we're only beginning to understand. Some researchers link geomagnetic changes to increased emotional instability, confusion, or even a sense of being ungrounded. Have you ever felt more anxious, disoriented, or just off for no clear reason? It might not just be stress, it could be a deeper, more global shift affecting all of us. Could our inner turbulence be reflecting the Earth's own imbalance? And that's not all. There's also evidence suggesting changes in sleep cycles and consciousness itself during times of magnetic fluctuation. Disturbances in the magnetic field might influence melatonin production, the hormone that regulates our sleep and dreaming. As a result, some people report vivid dreams, unusual levels of intuition, or even hallucinations. What if our minds are being tuned like antennas to a new frequency zone that we don't yet understand, but can definitely feel? As this transformation unfolds, even nature seems to be confused. Birds and whales have been documented going off course during migrations, possibly due to disoriented magnetic cues. Weather patterns are shifting unpredictably. Navigation systems based on magnetic orientation may fail, leading us to rely more on human instinct than on technology. So, when Baba Vanga spoke of a red sky, perhaps she wasn't just offering a metaphor for chaos or war. Maybe she was pointing toward a time when both Earth and humanity would undergo a massive recalibration, a tipping point where the planet's energy shifts, and so does ours. The red sky might be symbolic of this global transformation, a sign that the unseen forces around us are waking up and calling us to pay attention. What does it mean to live through such a time? And how can we remain grounded when the very compass of our world is changing? The lesson here is not to fear the unknown, but to become more aware of it. Awareness is our greatest tool. When we understand that even the Earth's magnetic field can impact our thoughts, feelings, and dreams, we start to approach life with more compassion for ourselves and others. If someone is more irritable or distant lately, maybe it's not just them. Maybe we're all moving through this shift together. This is a moment to slow down, reconnect with nature, and center ourselves in what truly matters: kindness, clarity, and calm. So ask yourself, how are you aligning with the changes around you? Are you resisting, or are you learning to flow with them? Let this be a call to deepen your inner stability, to listen more carefully to your intuition, and to nurture peace within, even as the world outside sways. The red sky may rise, but what truly matters is the light you carry within. Baba Vanga's 2025 vision is no longer a distant warning, it's happening now. If you're watching this, you're not here by accident. Drop a "Ready for 2025" in the comments to claim your awareness. And don't stop here, the most important revelations are still to come. Keep watching until the end. Number 6. Present Day Signs. The prophecy unfolds. In recent months, across our ever-connected world, subtle yet undeniable signs have begun to surface: strange, shimmering anomalies in the sky, peculiar behavior among animals, and an unspoken tension shared by many. While some may dismiss these occurrences as coincidences or natural oddities, others feel a quiet stirring, a sense that something deeper is in motion. As we step into 2025, these signs have begun aligning in ways that eerily mirror the visions once spoken by the blind mystic Baba Vanga, whose prophecy of the red sky seems to be moving from shadowed mystery into the bright light of unfolding reality. Her predictions, often cryptic yet astonishingly accurate, have long captivated the imagination, but now many are beginning to wonder, are we truly witnessing the very moments she foresaw? The most vivid and unsettling of these signs is the appearance of red skies in regions across the globine atmospheric phenomenon that goes far beyond poetic sunsets. These are not ordinary twilight displays, but deep, scarlet hues that flood the sky at times of day when such colors should not appear at all. From the lush coasts of Brazil to the crowded streets of the Philippines and the serene landscapes of Spain, 2025 has seen entire cities bathed in eerie crimson light. Social media lit up with anxious voices tagging videos and images with terms like blood dawn and skyfire, attempting to capture their awe and fear in mere words. Even more chilling are the reports of skies that not only glowed, but seemed to pulse if the atmosphere itself were breathing. In one unforgettable clip, captured by a drone in Canada, a 38-second sequence revealed a rhythmic red glow at dawn, eerily silent and seemingly sentient. While meteorologists quickly pointed to familiar culprits such as Saharan dust or wildfire smoke drifting across oceans, further analysis revealed inconsistencies. Satellite data contradicted the presence of such pollutants in many regions, and the strangely uniform glow did not match any known pattern of natural diffusion. There's something different here, something not easily explained by science alone, something perhaps meant to catch our attention. At the same time, another skybound anomaly has begun to emerge, auroras appearing in places they simply shouldn't. Traditionally a spectacle of the far north and south poles, these luminous waves of color emerald green and deep ruby have now begun dancing above urban skylines thousands of miles from their usual domains. From Midwestern cities in the United States to Central Europe and even parts of Northern Africa, these ghostly lights have become frequent, vibrant, and startlingly out of place. Yes, the sun has been unusually active, releasing solar flares that could explain some increase in auroral activity, but the strength, intensity, and reach of these recent displays suggest more than just an energetic sun. Something appears to be shifting in the Earth's magnetic environment itself, a deeper and more sustained disruption than typical solar cycles can account for. Could this be a prelude to the kind of planetary upheaval that Baba Vanga spoke of, not necessarily of destruction, but of transformation? While the skies draw our gaze upward, the Earth itself offers no peace. A growing number of reports document disturbing changes in the behavior of animals, many of whom rely on the Earth's magnetic field to navigate. Birds flying in confused circles, fish stranded on shorelines, whales beaching themselves in numbers unseen in recent decades all point to a possible disorientation, as though nature's ancient compass has gone awry. These incidents are not only increasing, but clustering in strange ways across continents, adding to the sense of an invisible thread pulling at the seams of normalcy. And humanity is not untouched by this unseen force. More and more people are sharing feelings of restlessness and uneasy sleepless nights filled with vivid, sometimes disturbing dreams, unexplained emotional swings, and a creeping sensation that something is shifting just beyond perception. While modern life is undoubtedly stressful and the digital world only heightens our sensitivities, the widespread and simultaneous nature of these experiences raises new questions. Are we, too, responding to some subtle planetary signal, perhaps not unlike the animals, only in ways we don't fully understand? When we look at these event-strid skies, misplaced auroras, erratic wildlife, and collective emotional shifts, it is not any single moment that disturbs, but the way they seem to echo and resonate with one another. A global pattern is emerging, and it is hard to ignore. Whether or not you believe in prophecies, what we are seeing invites us to pay closer attention to the Earth, to the skies, and to ourselves. Baba Vanga's prediction of a red sky may have sounded like metaphor, but its present-day manifestation urges us to rethink our connection with the world around us. Could it be a message, not of doom, but of awakening? In this uncertain moment, rather than retreat into fear or fascination, we are invited to step into mindfulness. Now is the time to reconnect with nature, with our communities, and with our own inner stillness. Rather than waiting passively for events to unfold, we can choose to live with intention, compassion, and clarity. If the sky is sending us signals, then perhaps the true purpose of such signs is to remind us that change is not always catastrophe, can also be an invitation to rise, to grow, and to remember that even amidst chaos, the human spirit can find peace when rooted in wisdom and love. In the days ahead, as more signs reveal themselves, let us not just watch with anxious eyes, but listen with open hearts. Guidance: how to act in times of change. When we look at the prophecies of Baba Vanga, especially her vision of a red sky appearing more frequently in 2025, it's tempting to interpret such messages as signs of doom. Yet, wisdom traditions, both ancient and timeless, urge us to see beyond surface appearances. From the prophecies of mystics to the serene clarity of the Buddha's teachings, a deeper lesson reveals itself. When the world outside begins to tremble and shift, it is not merely a warning, it is an invitation to wake up. In turbulent times, the first step is to remain still inside. When the sky burns red and the winds seem unsettled, perhaps this is nature's way of asking us to slow down and listen, not only to the sounds around us, but to the silence within. As the Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." This is not just poetic comfort, it is a practical compass for how to respond in uncertain times. Rather than succumbing to fear, we are called to observe with mindfulness. Most people, when confronted with unusual events, fall into anxiety or denial, but fear distorts perception. True clarity comes when we sit with reality as it is. If we see the sky shift its color or the climate act in unusual ways, let us not rush to conclusions. Let us watch with calm eyes, and in doing so, nurture wisdom instead of panic. Just as a mirror only shows what is before it when it is still and unclouded, our minds, when quiet and centered, can reflect the truth of what is happening. This is how the Buddha described right mindfulness, not just as meditation, but as a way of truly seeing. And here, Baba Vanga's prophecy is not an order to fear the sky, but a nudge to observe it with awakened attention. As we observe, we must also remember what we have forgotten: our connection to nature. We are not spectators of this earth, we are strands in her web. Nature holds a rhythm, a pulse, a balance that we have strayed from. The more we bury ourselves in concrete, devices, and noise, the more out of tune we become with our own essence. Walking barefoot on the earth, listening to the trees breathe, letting our fingers brush against leaves, these simple acts restore balance. If you wish to understand the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, said Nikola Tesla, reminding us that everything, including our hearts, beats in harmony with nature. When we return to this understanding, we find that the chaos of the world outside loses its grip on our spirit. But we must also bring this awareness into our relationships. In times of great uncertainty, kindness becomes our greatest tool. A compassionate heart doesn't just soften the blows of a changing world, it transforms it. You don't need to save the world, you only need to touch the lives within your reach. Holding space for someone's pain, smiling at a stranger, forgiving yourself, these acts carry ripples far beyond what you can see. The Dalai Lama said, "Be kind whenever possible. It is always possible." And in truth, compassion is the most grounded form of courage. In a world on edge, small kindnesses become anchors. Equally important is listening to the wisdom of our own body and inner voice. Many people report feeling unusual fatigue, emotional swings, or vivid dreams when the world seems to be on the brink of change. This isn't always something to be fixed. It may be a signal. Just as animals sense an approaching storm, we too have inner senses, tuned to frequencies beyond conscious understanding. Trust them. Rest when your body asks, cry when you need to, and breathe deeply when the mind becomes tight. The Buddha often spoke of the body as a temple and the breath as a bridge to awareness. Honoring your body is a spiritual practice. It roots you, shields you, and guides you. And above all, let us remember that change is not the enemy, is the very fabric of life. The teachings of impermanence are not designed to make us feel small. They are designed to set us free. The world changes, seasons turn, relationships shift, empires rise and fall, and the sky might even bleed red. But through it all, one truth remains. The present moment is always available. All conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering, the Buddha said. So rather than resisting the tides of change, let us ride them with clarity and purpose. Ask yourself not with fear, but with curiosity. Am I living in alignment with my values? Am I awake in this moment? The red sky, rather than being a harbinger of doom, might be a sunrise of new awareness. So, as 2025 approaches with its mysterious signals and global murmurs, let us not simply brace for impact. Let us plant our feet firmly into the ground of presence, breathe into our hearts, and choose to live wisely. Prophecies are not destiny, they are calls to consciousness. And just like the tree with deep roots that weathers every storm, we too can endure, grow, and even thrive, if we stay grounded in stillness and act from compassion. Because in the end, the sky may change, the world may tremble, but if your inner world is steady, nothing can truly shake you. As we step into 2025, the red sky may rise, but it doesn't have to bring fear. Instead, let it be a mirror, reflecting not just the changes in the world around us, but the awakening happening within us. Baba Vanga's prophecy reminds us that the sky, the earth, and our own hearts are deeply connected. So let's not run from these signs. Let's pause, let's listen, let's live with awareness. Thank you for joining us on the journey of wisdom. If this message spoke to you, please like this video, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss the next chapter in our journey together. Until next time, may you stay grounded, stay kind, and walk gently under whatever sky may come.